This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, December 27th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The Biden administration faces renewed pressure for stronger retaliation against Iran-backed militias in the Middle East after a Christmas Day drone attack in Iraq left 3 American troops injured. Ben Wolfgang reports the drone attack by a Shiite group with direct links to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps led to a round of retaliatory airstrikes by U.S. forces against militia targets in Iraq. It was the latest in a series of direct clashes between the two sides. Pentagon officials stressed they would do whatever was necessary to protect U.S. forces and said the retaliatory strike should send a clear message. Critics say the administration must go further. The Supreme Court has become the court of the digital age by routinely applying the Constitution to cases involving First and Fourth Amendment rights in internet disputes. Alex Hoyer reports the court has heard cases dealing with free speech on social media platforms and protections for technology companies under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. That provision shields companies from lawsuits over content posted on their platforms by third parties. The court has also tackled GPS concerns in a case involving the use by law enforcement of third-party tracking data without a warrant, ruling that it runs afoul of a reasonable expectation of privacy under the Fourth Amendment. Speaking of the Supreme Court, a previously deported illegal immigrant has asked it to overturn his criminal conviction, arguing the law that makes it a felony to sneak back into the United States is the product of systemic racism. Stephen Dinan reports Gustavo Carrillo Lopez says a law against illegal reentry enacted in 1929 as part of the Undesirable Aliens Act is racist. Congress rewrote the law in 1952 and has updated it several times since, but has never repudiated the racism from 1929, so his attorneys argue it should be struck down. At issue is Section 1326 of the Immigration Code, known as the Illegal Reentry Statute. That makes it a felony for someone deported to return to the United States without permission. Artificial intelligence has seismic implications for music making and record labels, posing existential questions about the meaning of creativity and whether machines are enhancing or replacing human inspiration. Tom Howe reports because of rapid advancements in AI technology, there are plenty of programs that can duplicate the voices of legendary singers, such as the Beatles' John Lennon and Nirvana's Kurt Cobain. Other AI and machine learning programs in music include tone transfer apps that allow a singer's melody to come back in the form of a trumpet instead of a voice. AI can also generate completed songs with a few text prompts, challenging the copyright landscape and sparking mixed emotions in listeners who are amused by new possibilities, but skittish about what comes next. And finally, North Korean state media is encouraging citizens there to undertake winter climbs of Mount Baekdu, a peak venerated by both North and South Koreans. Andrew Salmon reports the mountain is an extinct volcano that straddles North Korea's border with China. At just over 9,000 feet, it's the highest point on the Korean peninsula. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.